Tonight, our special transmission as the United Nations expresses alarm over reports of sexual violence by Israeli soldiers against Palestinian women. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Humaira Karodia. Today is the 171st day since Israel started its incessant bombing on Palestine. Palestinian Health Ministry reports in the past 24 hours, Israeli attacks have killed more than 81 people. 93 have been injured. Israel has rejected Hamas's ceasefire demands, labeling them as delusional. Hamas continues to advocate for Israel's complete withdrawal from Gaza alongside a permanent ceasefire. Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh is praising Palestinian resilience. He says Israeli actions have led to the loss of international support. A bombing by Israeli forces in Rafah have resulted in the deaths of at least 18 individuals, including 9 children. On the diplomatic front, global leaders have welcomed a UN resolution calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. UN Secretary General Guterres says that there is a crucial need for the resolution's implementation to stop further bloodshed and suffering. A report by UN Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese is raising concerns of potential genocide by Israel in the Gaza Strip. The report cites reasonable grounds for these allegations. Despite international calls for a ceasefire, reports from Gaza indicate ongoing military operations, with Rafah city facing increasing attacks. The Palestine Red Crescent Society reports the closure of Al Amal Hospital in Dar al-Bala due to Israeli army actions. The death toll from Israel's war continues to mount. At the time of writing, at least 32,414 Palestinians have been killed. A report by the UN says nearly 8,000 Palestinians have been buried under the rubble. 74,787 people have been injured. Israel's revised death toll from Hamas's attacks stand at 1,139. The U.S. has approved a bill imposing severe restrictions and conditions on funding to the Palestinian Authority. The resolution has been voted by the U.S. Senate and signed by President Biden. The resolution says funds for the Palestinian Authority may be slashed if it gains statehood recognition at the UN without an Israeli-Palestinian agreement. It says that if the Palestinian Authority supports the International Criminal Court in its investigation of Israel, the U.S. will stop the funding. The funding will also be cancelled if the Palestinian Authority provides assistance in the World Court probe involving Israeli nationals for alleged crimes against Palestinians. The bill extends the ban on funding the UN Refugee Agency till March 2025. In contrast, it allocates further $3.8 billion in military aid to Israel. A European-based pro-Palestine group has intensified efforts to take legal action against Israeli soldiers with dual European nationality. The group includes lawyer Haroon Raza. Raza is the founder of the March 30 movement that recognizes ongoing genocide in Palestine and is committed to decolonization. The group has filed over a dozen cases since the onset of Israel's war. 17 complaints have been filed in the Netherlands against dual nationals serving in the Israeli military. Recently, the group has lodged a complaint at the International Criminal Court against French-Israeli soldier Yoel Ohanana for alleged torture of Palestinian civilians. Raza says the goal is to ensure prosecuting all culpable individuals for war crimes and genocide in Gaza. Earlier this month, the movement listed the names of 11 Dutch individuals serving in the Israeli military. The charges included offenses such as torture, attacks on civilians, and the use of prohibited weapons. Raza cites soldiers' social media posts as evidence. Despite potential political obstacles, Raza remains optimistic. He says he is aiming for at least one precedent setting conviction to catalyze broader legal action and public support against Israeli actions. The United Nations is expressing grave concern over allegations of Israeli soldiers systematically sexually abusing Palestinian women in Gaza. Israeli media reports show a U.S. official accusing the Israeli army of sexual violence during a private meeting. The UN has received reports of Palestinian female detainees facing sexual assault in Israel detention since October. There are at least 2 documented cases of rape. Palestinian women released from detention have recounted experience of strip searches and physical abuse by Israeli forces. UN Special Rapporteur on Violence Against Women and Girls, Reem Al-Salim, says sexual assaults constitutes potential war crimes or crimes against humanity. The reports have also emerged of rape crimes committed during Israeli raids on Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza. A testimony by Jamila Al-Hissi, who was trapped in a building near Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza, says Israeli soldiers were involved in the abduction, rape, and killing of women during the raid of the hospital. Muslim News Canada has not been able to verify these allegations. Israel stands accused of genocide at the International Court of Justice. In an interim ruling in January, the World Court ordered Tel Aviv to stop genocidal acts and provide humanitarian assistance to civilians in Gaza. Recent data reveals that 69% of Israel's weapons imports originate from U.S. companies, while 30% come from Germany. The data is compiled by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. The report shows the U.S. increased its supply of guided bombs and missiles to Israel at the end of last year. It shows the sale of U.S. fighter jets has played a significant role in Israeli military actions against Palestinian groups. Despite international concerns, the UK, Canada, and the Netherlands continue to supply components for Israeli military equipment. Although Canada has halted further arms exports to Israel, it says it will continue to supply military components for existing permits. Pressure on Western countries' foreign arms embargo is intensifying. Hundreds of politicians are advocating for banning providing military components to Israel. Police are investigating the incident of a barbecued pig thrown outside the halal grocery catering to Muslims in London, Ontario. Hussam Mohammed, the owner of the grocery, is calling the act a threat. Mohammed says the cooked pig with its head still attached was left in a cardboard box. He says the incident has left him fearful for his family's safety. A member of the London Muslim community condemns the act. He calls it disturbing, particularly as tensions heighten against Muslims due to Israel's war against Palestinians. Police are reviewing nearby surveillance footage. Students at Monsignor Doyle Catholic Secondary School, Cambridge, Ontario, have started a heartwarming initiative called Hearts for Islam. The move comes in response to the recent vandalism at the Islamic Center of Cambridge. Recently, a swastika was sprayed painted on the center's entrance. Students from the Grade 11 World Religions course have crafted uplifting messages on paper hearts. The students delivered the messages to the Islamic Center to express solidarity and support. The project has been coordinated by teacher Anne Denomi. Denomi says that there's a need to break down stereotypes and promote empathy. This gesture of solidarity has deeply touched the Islamic Center's vice chair, Muhammad Dar. Dar says that the significance of community support in combating Islamophobia cannot be ignored. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a not-for-profit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now, so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad.